So today I want to talk to you guys about spring lawn seeding and why I don't recommend it for a cool season lawn. Now, if you have a warm season lawn, it's going to be very different, but if you have a cool season lawn and you're in zones 5 through 7 or really anywhere throughout the Midwest, this video is going to be applicable to you. So I guess the first reason I do not like seeding a lawn in the spring actually has to do with before work even begins, and that is schedule conflicts. Now, all my pro friends out there who are doing lawn fertilization and weed control, oftentimes, whether we offer this service or not, or we're just a mowing service, one of the upsells we're going to offer with that service is lawn seeding or lawn aerations over seedings. And oftentimes what will happen because you offer that service is you're going to get calls to do it in the spring, which is totally cool. However, I will say this, if you can advise from doing it, you will be better off for reasons you're going to find out later in this video. Now, before we get into that, I do want you guys to know this video is not sponsored by anybody. However, I will say this, I am drinking a little protein drink here from my good friends over here. They're local to me, really like them. I go there every day for my little protein power-up, if you will. I also get teas, too. Pretty good. If you're mowing lawns every week or you're doing applications and you're on your own, there's going to be a lot of schedule conflicts, especially in the springtime, because we have a lot of work to do and very little time to do it, especially with all these rain days we get. Like, there are weeks where we get rained out 5 days at a time, and whenever we have nice days to work, it kind of goes by order of importance, right? If you run a mowing route, that's going to trump going out and doing applications. If you run an application route, that's going to trump getting out there and doing seedings, because you have people on a schedule, dandelions are blooming, you want to take care of those in a timely fashion. Now, that's not to say you can't accommodate those. I'm sure you can accommodate them on extra days or over the weekend or just on how you have your schedule going, but depending on how your operation goes and how you're booked, it's just not going to be an easy operation. You're going to have a lot of things conflicting with one another, and the weather just doesn't cooperate. So, yeah, that reason alone, I would say not do it. The second reason I don't recommend doing it is because once you break ground, it's going to change the way that you're able to go about treating that lawn. Now, one of the cool things about seeding a lawn in the fall is it doesn't change your program approach all that much. Let me give you an example. So here in Northwest Indiana, my lawn care business, JTLK Turf, we have two programs that we run. We have a 6-step, the JTLK comprehensive 6-step lawn plan, where we do 2 applications in the spring, 2 in the summer, 2 in the fall, each of which have fertility applications to address different things at different times of the year. And during that time, we're also spot spraying weeds and sometimes even blanketing them like we're doing here at round 2. And the 4 steps a little similar to that, although the applications are spaced a little further apart. And we don't do anything in the summer. We put down something in the spring that carries through. A simple program strategy you can run if you seed in the fall, because all you can really do if you're blanketing your weeds in the springtime, you can easily come in around rounds 4 and 5, which is early August to early September, do some overseedings and spray your round on top of it, especially if there's no weed control in the mix, which for us, there isn't, right? So it's not going to conflict with a lot of things. And on top of that, going back to what we talked about in the first part of this video, weather isn't really going to be that much of a conflict for us in the fall as much as it is in the spring. In the spring, we're getting rain sometimes 5 days a week, and that can lead to schedule conflicts. Whereas in the fall, we have a little more playroom, right? And it also helps with back-end revenue if you run the business and you're about to go into the dead of winter, right? So scheduling a lot of those for the fall is a good idea in that aspect of it. But back to the turf side of things, it's a good idea because it's not going to change your program all that much, whereas as if you do it in the springtime, you're going to have to give them an entire different mix completely, or if you don't want to go through the process of triple rinsing the 2,4-D out of your tank, which will hurt the new seed, you're going to have to maybe even go to a granular if you have a push spreader around, and it's just more work and more unnecessary time. Whereas if you do it in the fall, you're smooth cruising, doesn't conflict with anything. So to get back to my point I was making, A lot of things you do to a lawn this time of year, you're not going to be able to do, and it's going to create a lot of headache for you. You can't put down crabgrass pre-emergent because that's going to prune the roots of the new seed and kill it off, because that's how crabgrass pre-emergents work, especially prodiamine and dithiopyr. They will prune the roots, and the grass seed will be rendered powerless to grow, just like the crabgrass would. And you cannot spray post-emergent herbicides blanket like you're doing in the springtime if that's something you do in your rounds. I know I do, to help with dandelion outbreaks, right? You're not able to do that either, and that's just, again, going to create a lot of problems for you. And sure, you're going to get some new seed coming in, but you're going to run into a lot of weed issues because you're very, very stifled on how you're able to treat them, if you will, which means you're going to have to fight the outbreaks of weeds coming in with your new seed. And again, you're just not going to have a lot of options to do it. Whereas if you wait till the fall, you're not going to have to do it. Another thing about seeding in the spring, I don't recommend seeding in the spring because you can actually get away with seeding less if you do it in the fall. Let me explain what I mean by that. So, sure, coming into the springtime, things are thin, things are patchy. We're just coming out of winter for a while, and that's to be expected. Like my Provista lawn, for instance, coming out of winter, it always looks thin and patchy, and the average homeowner would be like, oh no, I need to seed this. I have a lot of bare spots. When in reality, if you use good mowing, good fertilization practices, and good irrigation practices, once we get into the heat of the summer, use that to thicken up what's already there. You're actually going to fill in those gaps over time, and you're going to reduce the amount of seed you're going to need come fall time, maybe even eliminate it completely. So it's really more of just a long-term strategy, if you will. If you get that done, if you just get all that basic stuff dialed in, you're mowing, you're watering, you're fertilizing, get all that dialed in over the next couple of months going into the season, you might be able to eliminate that completely, and on top of that, save yourself some money. So it's a win-win all around. Don't jump to the seed right away, especially if you have a green stand there and 70%, if not more of it, is turf. Work on what's there and see if you really need to do an overseeding in the fall time. Come back, revisit it in the fall. I am going to go ahead and leave you with this, though. If you decide to do a spring lawn seeding, I want you to know, unfortunately, if you have a cool season lawn in the Midwest, the odds are just not going to be in your favor if you're not able to stick to the watering. There's not a lot of margin for error like there is in the fall. Let me explain. If you start in the spring, sure, we get a lot of rain early on, but we need that rain to stay if you're not going to water it. And oftentimes it's not the case. If you do a seeding in April and you have 6 weeks that you're going to need to water it so that it can establish, if you don't keep up on the watering, the problem you're going to run into with no rain is your seed is going to end up dying anyway because it hasn't had enough time to harden off before that weather hits, which means it's going to be a failure all around, and you're going to have to revisit it in the fall anyway. So if you are going to do it in the spring, just know, unfortunately, the odds are not in your favor if you're not able to stay consistent with the watering, which means you're going to have to be on it like a hawk if you do it in the spring. You have to water it every day without fail for 30 to 45 days. Then you got to kind of wean it off into a deep and infrequent watering from days 45 to 60. And that's not 60 days after the seed has been put down. That is 60 days after germination, which is when it starts poking up out of the ground and you see that little green. 60 days after that. Whereas if you do it in the fall, the odds are in your favor. Maybe not when you start right away. Temperatures are hot, things are dry, you can start watering it, but as the window progresses all the way from days 0 to 60. Again, that's from the date of germination. Temperatures are going to get cooler. Rain's going to come back into the forecast. The grass seed is going to have enough time to grow in and harden off before the winter. And by the time spring comes around, you feed it, it jumps up, and things are going to look really, really good. And it's also going to be a much easier time for you because the odds are in your favor as a cool season lawn, right? Temperatures are going down, rain's coming back in. So if you miss a few watering days toward the end of that 60-day cycle, you're going to be fine. So that's why I don't recommend seeding a lawn in the spring. I'm sure there's a lot of other reasons. You might want to do it, you might not want to do it. Let's start a discussion down in the comments below. Leave your comments. What do you guys think? Me, I personally don't believe in it. I believe in waiting till the fall, but I am definitely interested to hear what you have to say. So comment below. If you click this button right here, you're going to see more videos from me, my spray business, where I show you guys how to make money spraying lawns. And if you click some more videos right here, I got some videos I've already put out so far showing you guys how to do so, as I'm showing you guys my day-to-day operation out in the field. So be sure to check that out. Your feedback and comments is much appreciated, and I'll see you guys soon.